I'm Dustin, welcome to Fantasy Smack Talk. Heading into week 10, only 4 weeks before the fantasy playoffs. You gotta hit that wire, get your teams as ready as they can for that final push. Thank you to our sponsor, mybookie.ag, most trusted sports book on the web. It's not just important who you bet on, but where you bet, where you place your bets. So check them out. Click on the link in the description, use promo code SMACK, you get a sign-up bonus. And we do always recommend looking at over-unders when deciding which players to pick up and who to start and sit each week, because it does help your lineup. So check out mybookie.ag. So I shoot this before the Monday night games, keep that in mind. And I rank these kind of in order of importance on how I would pick them up if they were available in my league, taking into account 0.5 PPR settings. And I like to start with the pickup of the week, kind of guy that's going to get the most attention, one of the most fun pickups. And this week, I think it's Robert Woods. I mean, he's had a couple of bad games this year, but for the most part, he's been pretty consistent. But his biggest knock has been not finding the end zone. But he found it twice week 9. The Rams offense just seems to be getting stronger as the season goes on. I like their matchup week 10. They're going up against Houston. I think Robert Woods is definitely going to be a wide receiver 2 for us, I would say, for our week 10 ranking. So I think he's a guy that needs to get picked up and can get plugged right into a lot of lineups. So Robert Woods, I think, is pickup of the week this week. Let's talk about some running backs. It's time to scoop up Danny Woodhead. I mean, even in standard leagues, I think Woodhead will have potential flex appeal each week, and you only got to wait him out 1 week at this point. He should be back week 11. I know Collins has been playing pretty well, but Woodhead is definitely going to be a factor on that offense. I want to talk about the 2 New England running backs I got on this list, Dion Lewis and Burkhead. Those 2 seem to be the ones that you can trust the most at this point. They're getting the most consistent touches. They had their bye week 9, so they weren't picked up in a ton of leagues, especially Burkhead. But both these guys, they're going to be inconsistent, but in any type of deeper league, these are guys that can give you options on your bench. You get into a pinch, they're decent flex options for you. I want to talk about the running back situation for Miami. Drake and Williams both looked pretty good week 9, but it's kind of a mess. That's why I got them this low, just because they're both hurting each other's value. I mean, Drake had the slightly better week, but Williams found the end zone. So I think Drake's still the guy to own at this point, but Williams is not that far behind. And then I want to talk about Devontae Booker real quick. He's starting to really creep in and get some touches on that Denver offense. CJ Anderson and Charles have been okay, but Booker's starting to just sneak in there. Just keep an eye on Booker. It's possible if Anderson goes down that Charles isn't necessarily the handcuff. So it's kind of getting a little messy out there, kind of a 3-headed monster. But Booker's starting to get into the fantasy radar at this point, only on 5% of leagues. Shout out to our Week 9 FanDuel winner, Vids67. They took it down. They get the t-shirt. They win the cash in that game. And if you want to get into our game, click on the link in the description. It's a lot of fun. It's a $5 game. We're all in there. You win a shirt if you win. You get the cash like we talked about. And if you haven't signed up for FanDuel yet, go ahead and click on the link, sign up, deposit $10 or more, and it helps us out. So go ahead and check that out. Receivers, I want to talk about Robbie Anderson. The surprising Jets, they win again week 9. They have definitely surprised me this season. And Robbie Anderson's definitely been one of the bright spots of that offense. I like their matchup against Tampa Bay week 10. So here's another guy. If you need a receiver, he's a guy that you could pick up, and he might even make it right into your starting lineup. Corey Davis, not the best week 9, but the important thing is he played, he's back, he's healthy. The rookie has a chance to make some noise in the second half, so I think he's worth a look in some, definitely more than 50% of leagues. And then Josh Gordon, he has been kind of reinstated, but it's not going to be until I think week 13, they said, where he could actually play a game. So, he's not necessarily going to help you get into the playoffs, but he could be a guy that could help you down the road. So if you're already in a decent spot and you got a bench spot looking for some upside, Josh Gordon's not a bad guy to grab. Deontay Thompson for Buffalo. I know they got Kelvin now, and he'll probably be ready to go week 10. But Zay Jones got banged up. If Jones ends up missing, Thompson could be a sneaky play in deeper leagues, going up against New Orleans. New Orleans is playing great right now. More than likely, Buffalo will be playing from behind. So I don't mind Thompson this week. He got a ton of targets week 9. And then good one for San Francisco. This seems to be the guy that's going to maybe get the biggest bump with the Garcon injury. You know, it's still kind of a mess out there with the 49ers, but if I was going to pick anyone to pick up, I think Goodwin would be the guy. Quarterback, Jared Goff, still only on 75% of leagues. That is definitely going to change. I had him on this list last week. He was only 50% owned. Goff, I mean, he could be a QB1 down the stretch. The guy's playing great. McCown, don't sleep on him. Like I said, the surprising Jets, they've won 4 games. They're still playing for this year. They're not going to go away from McCown. He's been pretty solid, actually scrambled into the end zone week 9, only on 35% of leagues. And then put Paxton Lynch on your radar. There's a chance he starts week 10 as Denver tries to figure out something on that offense. He could get the nod week 10, so 2 quarterback leagues, deep leagues. Don't mind Paxton Lynch. Tight end, a couple of people coming off injury, Greg Olsen and Charles Clay. Looks like Clay could be back week 10. You're still going to need to wait a couple weeks for Olsen, but depending on your situation with where you are in the rankings, where you are with your tight end, you might want to just scoop one of these guys and just have a nice, tight end 1 potential on your bench until they're healthy and playing. Some pick up and play defenses for you. Detroit, owning 60% of leagues. I like them at home against Cleveland week 10. Pittsburgh at Indy. Over-under on mybookie.ag is 44, and Pittsburgh's favored by 10 points, so they're not giving Indy much love in that one, so I like Pittsburgh as a pick-up-and-play defense. And then Chicago, only on 10% of leagues, going up against Green Bay. Chicago's defense has had some flashes. They've been pretty good at times this season, and at home against Green Bay, you got to think there's a chance, well, obviously with Rodgers not out there, that Chicago could do all right. So if you got questions, post them in the video. Like this video, subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, and get into our FanDuel game, and good luck on the wire.